Meghan Markle posted a bizarre video on her social media yesterday, which sent several people into absolute meltdown. It is the cringiest, most uncomfortable.
In Hollywood, reinvention isn't just a choice, it's survival. But Meghan Markle's latest evolution? Oh, honey, it's got even her die-hard fans squinting at the screen and whispering, "Who is that?" Gone is the down-to-earth, warm California girl who proudly carried her heritage into the spotlight. The woman who once won hearts with her natural beauty and easy charm now looks almost like a stranger. And we're not talking about a glow-up or a little aging gracefully moment. This is bigger. This is the kind of transformation that doesn't just turn heads. It stops conversations mid-sentence.
This is deeply problematic on a number of levels. Number one, here's the problem. We don't like you, Meghan Markle. We don't like you. And no amount of posting videos that you think are going to humanize you will make us like you.
It's so dramatic, so deliberate, that people can't help but wonder, is this still the Megyn we knew, or the debut of an entirely new persona? Enter Megyn Kelly. Yes, that Megyn Kelly, who decided she wasn't going to tiptoe around the elephant in the room. On one of the biggest cultural platforms in America, she went there. She didn't mumble, she didn't hedge. She delivered her thoughts with surgical precision, dissecting Megyn's new look in a way most public figures wouldn't dare. And the fallout? Immediate.
It was calculated. It was sharp.
She can't keep a staff in London. She can't keep a staff in Montecito. She's a bully. She's obsessed with her own ego, face on television, etc., and playing the victim. So no amount of humanizing videos, even if she managed to find one, are going to work. You know, if you actually are a good person, you don't show.
Kelly didn't just imply it. She flat out said Megyn's facial structure looked different. Sharper jawline, narrower nose, cheekbones that could cut glass. And then she dropped the question that had been hanging in the air for months. What happened to Meghan Markle? That one line lit the internet up like a match to dry tinder. Side-by-side photos started flooding feeds. Megyn in her Suits days versus Megyn now, and the comparisons were brutal.
I think to the moment, to the child, and truly to like the sanctity of what goes on for any humans who are actually in that situation. She's drunk on her own ego. Your thoughts?
It wasn't "she's just aged" territory. This looked like a whole reconstruction project, and for her PR team, this was a nightmare. Because once people start speculating about what's real and what's done, it's not just your beauty they're questioning, it's your authenticity. Cosmetic experts, speaking generally of course, have noted that changes like these rarely happen by accident. And in Megyn's case, well, the timeline tells a story.
You're right, like, there's maybe a thought that they have a private moment like that, and maybe it's nice between them, and it's a nice memory of a silly moment before she gives birth. What it feels like to me is she's in a PR firm meeting, and someone says, "We need to heal."
The softer, rounder nose, gone, replaced with a sleeker, more defined version. That once gentle jawline, now sculpted to a sharp, aristocratic edge. Her cheeks, fuller, lifted, symmetrical to perfection. And here's the kicker, this wasn't an overnight transformation. Oh no, those who've been paying attention say it's been a 5-year masterclass in subtle tweaks. A nip here, a tuck there.
As you go through your phone, find some fun moments of you and Harry, and we'll post them and everyone will like you again. You can't manufacture that stuff, right? It feels fake. It feels weird. I don't understand why they would think something like that would work, but it's
each change small enough to avoid major headlines. But when you stack them together, you end up with an entirely new face. The Megyn who first stole the world's attention back in 2016, she's been slowly dismantled, rebuilt piece by piece, and insiders say there's a method to the makeover madness.
These are not people who are just posting on a whim, right? Like, this is an entire industry.
It's
I know
calculated.
you've covered this in depth. This is a whole industry. They've got people working on this all 24 hours a day to try to make this Meghan Markle thing into a thing. I don't think it's been very...
Word in Beverly Hills is that Megyn is chasing what they call the Windsor-adjacent rebrand. Translation? She's crafting a look that screams aristocracy. The highborn aesthetic, the kind of face you'd expect to see immortalized in an oil painting at Buckingham Palace, not on a cable TV drama poster. And this isn't about vanity, it's about power. In elite circles, image is currency. And Meghan's new face is basically saying, I'm not just the actress who married into royalty, I am royalty, perfected, untouchable. Her recent birthday bash, the ultimate showcase.
Successful so far, but
No.
I feel like this is just a blatant attempt at it.
It sort of reminds me of when Chrissy Teigen had what we now know was an abortion, which she at the time told us was a miscarriage, and posted photos of her crying, like hysterical in the hospital room. It was so weird. First of all, who takes pictures of themselves?
This wasn't just a birthday, it was a brand launch event disguised as a celebration. A swanky Beverly Hills hotspot, designer gowns, floral arrangements straight out of a Vogue spread, and oh, the guest list, scrubbed clean of her old crew. Prince Harry, nowhere in sight. In their place, Hollywood power players and, surprise, surprise, a professional photographer perfectly positioned to capture her best angles. This wasn't a party, this was a campaign.
When they're crying, and then post them online, especially after losing a baby? Look, what the F? I don't get it. This is not losing a baby, thank God, but it is just as intimate and none of our effing business. But
Even the birthday wishes she received that day felt off. These weren't heartfelt, inside joke-filled posts from close friends. They read like pre-approved press releases. Words like inspiring, empowered, visionary floated around, like they'd been copy-pasted straight from a branding manual. Not a candid memory in sight, no goofy throwbacks, no warmth, just the sterile language of image crafting.
us to love her. So she will do whatever it takes, and she doesn't know how to make us love her. The other thing I'm going to say, and I know this is weird, but there's one of those conspiracy theories on the internet that she might not have actually carried her babies, one or both, that they may have used a surrogate. Trust me, because I'm neck deep in all that.
And maybe that's the problem. The more Meghan polishes herself, the more she sands away the edges that made her real. Sure, she's never looked more refined, but that relatability, the thing that made her the people's duchess in the first place, it's slipping through her fingers. And it's not just in her appearance, her circle has changed too. The women she once stood shoulder to shoulder with on humanitarian projects, gone. The friends who once hyped her on social media, silent.
News around these two. And there are many people who long before today are convinced she used surrogates and that her pregnancies were fake, one or both of them. And this is the only time that I've actually indulged the theory, because if we can show that video again, I don't know, can we show it without playing the weird sound?
Even her family, yes, the ones she's feuded with, have been erased from the narrative entirely. What's left is a hand-picked entourage who know the unspoken rule. Loyalty isn't about friendship, it's about serving the brand. And if you stop serving the brand, you're out. Every public outing now feels like a stage production. The paparazzi candids of her in jeans, sneakers, and a coffee in hand, forget it.
That belly looks very abnormal. That it looks very strange. If you look up close in the video, and I encourage people, look at this. It looks like there's like a bag or like some sort of something shoved up under a dress. It does not look like a pregnant belly. It looks all bumpy.
Now it's all sleek, tailored dresses, professional hair and makeup, and angles that frame her newly sculpted features. Every image feels deliberate, down to the last strand of hair. This isn't about fashion, it's about control. And when someone controls every image you see of them, you can't help but wonder, what are they hiding?
Very strange. It looks like what you'd get if you put like a pillowcase full of like socks or something under your dress. You gotta look up close. There's very strange bumps coming off of that pregnant belly. I don't know why, Stu, but for the first time ever, I'm kind of like,
Here's the catch. This aristocratic perfection she's chasing comes at a cost. It builds emotional distance. The woman who once hugged fans and opened up about her struggles now feels untouchable. And in the world of public perception, once you lose relatability, you can't buy it back, no matter how expensive the gown. Sure, she's winning the elegance game, but she's bleeding out something much rarer, warmth, and warmth is what makes people forgive your mistakes, overlook your flaws, and stay loyal. Megyn Kelly's comments didn't just stir gossip, they confirmed what a lot of people were already whispering. The hashtag started flying. #, face of the firm. New Megyn. Royal makeover.
is this something we should be indulging? Because it doesn't look normal to me. The belly doesn't look normal, doesn't look like where a pregnant woman's belly is. And I don't understand what all those bumps on the belly are. I don't get it.
That's interesting. Yeah, it does look different, I guess. I mean, I
Tabloids on both sides of the Atlantic pounced, laying out timelines of her changing face. Even the usually sympathetic outlets are starting to ask if this has gone from reinvention to straight-up image obsession, and that's the danger. Once the media shifts its focus from your causes to your face, the countdown begins. Suddenly, all your speeches, charity work, and activism are drowned out by one shallow question: what did she have done? Because this transformation isn't just about aesthetics. It tells a bigger, lonelier story. Megyn has built herself a fortress, a glass castle where everything is perfect, but where the perfection keeps out more than criticism. It keeps out the unfiltered, messy, human moments that connect you to people. The irony? The more perfect she becomes, the less human she feels. And maybe that's the real tragedy here. If Megyn's reinvention is truly about empowerment, then let her show it. Not through airbrushed perfection or staged photo shoots, but through honesty, openness, dropping the layers of PR-approved gloss long enough for people to see the woman underneath the crown. Because here's the truth, a crown is only as strong as the person wearing it. And right now, Megyn's face might be commanding all the attention in the room, but behind closed doors, the whispers are only getting louder. Louder about what's real and what's been manufactured in a clinic chair. Are we witnessing a woman evolving into her truest self? Or are we watching a brand erase the woman entirely? And that's the dangerous thing about mirrors. They show you what's in front of you, but they never tell the whole story. When Megyn first stepped into the royal spotlight, people saw her as fresh, relatable, a breath of modern air in centuries-old halls. But in chasing the image of what royalty should look like, flawless skin, sculpted bone structure, zero room for imperfection, she may be losing the very thing that made people want to listen to her in the first place. The laugh lines that told stories of real joy, smoothed. The spontaneous, slightly messy hair moments, gone. The candid snapshots where her eyes told you she'd been caught mid-thought, erased. And maybe, just maybe, that's the saddest part of all. Because the Megyn the world once knew, the one who walked into Buckingham Palace with a Hollywood past and a humanitarian heart, wasn't perfect. She was flawed. And that's exactly why people loved her. Now, they see perfection. But perfection without vulnerability doesn't inspire. It intimidates. The girl who used to talk about her struggles on a global stage now seems locked behind glass, smiling on cue, every move scripted. And sure, it's beautiful glass, but glass all the same. You can see her, but you can't reach her. And here's the irony. Megyn might have reshaped her face, but in doing so, she risks reshaping her truth. Because no matter how flawless the jawline, how symmetrical the cheeks, or how refined the profile, people will always remember the Megyn who felt human. And unless she finds a way to bring that woman back into the spotlight, all the sculpting and smoothing in the world won't be able to fix what's slipping away. Because in the end, you can't Botox authenticity. You can't airbrush soul. And the moment people start to believe your image is just an image, they stop believing in the person behind it.